we got somewhere to be, guys. Let's end the game very, very fast. What do you feel about the draft for Aurora?
I think it's pretty even. There's a slight advantage for Alter Ego.
Well, what about you, Gideon?
I don't know. I think that it's a little more lopsided than that. I think that Aurora definitely is going to be slower in the early stages of the game, but if they keep it tight, I think mid-game it's pretty easy for them.
You know what? I'm very sorry to the stats on screen, but I legit don't care because at this point, there's something that you can't calculate, and that's the player spirit here using all their favorite heroes. So, ladies and gentlemen, now that the draft has finished up, this is game number 1 of this grand finals. Gonna be flying clouds. So now we're going to be throwing it over to our casters, Leo, Trex, and Mirko.
It's time to write the first chapter in the revelation that is this grand final. Ladies and gentlemen, Aurora Gaming Philippines from the upper bracket, Alter Ego from the lower, doing the nigh impossible, now stand on the grand stage.
All right, taking a look at this draft, we have a new pick, at least from last series and all of yesterday. We haven't seen Yasuke on this Nolan yet, and he's going to bring it up in game number 1. This is all about feeling each other out in a best of 7.
But we have seen a similar pick to this, the Suyo, something that wants to go fast and something that is very Alter Ego.
And they're going down memory lane. There was a time where Nolan was in the metagame alongside Suyo. So it's clear that Coach Zephyr, Professor X's needs and foresight are coming through. Quick peek at the emblems if you plan on playing Nolan in this current metagame. There's not much really changing here. Oh, quick start mid.
Yep, just a little bit more damage over on Yue. Alec pocket passive constantly getting the sustain over to Hijume.
I mean, well done already. We're seeing the aggression in the mid, but still nobody goes down. Demon Kite on this spread run. I mean, Aurora Gaming, I feel like their draft, they just keep it so simple. They keep it very Aurora Gaming PH. And if they win with this, it's a very good start from them because they don't have to change too much up. It's their style.
It's getting full from a basic breakfast or like a little glass of milk, a cup of coffee, if you will. Alter Ego, though, they're flexing how deep their hero pool goes. Could have sworn they were going to go utility as well since there is a good combo in Hijume and Alec, and then they can bank on Arfi. But Yasuke, the hero pool on this young man.
Yeah, and this is what we were kind of teasing about in the pre-match, right? We were talking about how Alter Ego, they want to go fast, but Aurora Gaming Philippines, they know how to play slow. They know how to slow the tempo down all the way to a point where Alter Ego makes mistakes. And already they're setting up, but look, already Dark Wave coming in. Demon Kite take it down, the fracture, all in. The light coming in for the re-engage. Yue pops in Crimson Beacon, able to get a Lantern Flare. Edward jumps in now with the Brave Spider. It's going to be Nino in the back line as Edward.
Way taking a lot of damage, might just go down here.
Now Alec will take a few shots. Nino with in front of pursuit, now jumps again. Another jump forward, but now he's caught in a bad place. Has another proc of the in front of pursuit. Will be able to go for the jump again and again. Takes a turret shot and gets shanked by Demon Kite as Yasuke moves to the purple buff.
A speedy response from Alter Ego, just as speedy as their start was. Demon Kite with a clutch take, didn't even use retry.
Alter Ego start things off fast. They do win out in kills. It's still the first turtle on the map, though. Yasuke tries to take a different path. Not getting that purple means they didn't get too much out of that trade.
Yep, flickers were used, and now we're jumping over Turtle 1.
Nino in the back, going in for Yue. Suzuki's going to be taken very low by Edward. He's going to go for the stun. Glorious Pathway coming down as the turtle was already secured by Demon Kite, but now it's going to be Nino all alone. Crimson Beacon and Lantern Flare picking him up. He's trying to go for the pursuit. Dark Wave by Nino. Jumps over on Edward. Gets another proc, but will be slain by Edward.
Alec has to get out of here with a Tsunami Slam. Looking for the escape.
Alec cannot escape. There was a lantern on him and a big horse.
A little too early for El Padre to be pushing their limits. Again, this is a Phobius. You need some modicum of items built to be able to do that.
Luckily, Yasuke, though, keeps on getting out of these fights. As long as Yasuke stands tall, they have a chance in future neutral objectives. All the games that we saw last time, when they lost, Yasuke had a bad game, so it's huge to keep him on 1-0.
You're alluding to his game on the Fanny, the clincher against SRG. Yeah, I could have sworn, watching that too, we're going all the way. But here, I agree. Yasuke needs that same amount of patience. Sure, he hasn't got punished yet, hasn't died, but if you want to take it to Aurora Gaming, you have to play the slow game.
And this is the thing about the Nolan. You actually shouldn't be contesting a neutral objective early. Yes, if there are real situations where Nino can actually zone Demon Kite, then take it. But now they're going to go for the dive in the bottom lane. Alec, flicker in, Tsunami Slam, Fracture come down, and all in over on Edward. And it's a pick down below, but look at the response from Aurora Gaming. Glorious pathway.
Arfi just needs to go home at this point. He's got to get out of here. The BMI, the Blazing Duet.
Cancelled out now, the pickup and the throw down back. But again, it's Light who takes the kill.
Could have gone better for Aurora, but macro-wise, the trade is good. It's an XP laner for a gold laner. Well, are my eyes damned? Is that an orange steal from Yasuke?
It seems, no. Demon Kai has the orange buff.
Okay, so that's all the way from his own.
Yep.
All right, so still, the trade stands. That's what's holding Aurora Gaming's 500 gold lead. It's the trade for the Lapu Lapu for the Claude. It's not a good start for Arfi.
I will say this, though. That getting the trade in the EXP lane does even things out between Edward and Nino. Nino already took 2 deaths, so that makes Nino a little more helpful in these future fights.
Jump over on Alec from Edward. Bravest fighter already used up, but Demon Kite is on the turtle, and Yazuke doesn't seem interested. Now his Light gets caught with a passive, but that's about it. It's free for Aurora. Arfi, Blazing Duet up top.
That's an ult for an ult in the gold lane. So far, Aurora Gaming have bridged their early game. They figured out, hey, we can be this. I'm holding my hands out about 6 inches apart. This aggressive against the alter ego, but not anymore because AE, they're willing to fight. A little bit of pressure, Tsunami Slam.
The lockdown now with Hijime going for the sun as well. Big bonk, Alec gonna be taking it now. Good taunt coming down as Nino rotates and flanks him on the other side. It's the Inferno Pursuit to take him down as Yasuke goes in with the Helmet of Dark Wave from Nino over on UA with the Crimson Beacon. Gets him to safety, and now they go back to the mid lane.
So 2 down on the side of Aurora Gaming. A tower does go into the hands of Aurora Gaming, but Alter Ego are getting away with pushing this aggression in the early game.
Nino not letting the early stumbles take over. Once bitten, never shy. El Padre pushing forward. Dominkite finds Yasuke. But again, that's what you get with a Nolan. You get mobility, you get burst. And ladies and gentlemen, look at this crowd just outside Tennis Indoor Senai.
GG.
That's why we call MLBB our national sport. At this point, it might just be, dude. Everybody in Indonesia has finally come through.
All right, so taking a look at the items, Arfi only about 360 gold behind, and when we finally have marksman gold laners like this, they are going to be very important in the first, second lords, those big fights that ultimately matter. Starlium Scythe does lock in for Dominkite. In the jungle, even with the 2 deaths on Demon Kite, Yasuke isn't too far ahead.
And just to put this into context, being a tank jungler, you don't need that much farm. So that just spells how slow the farm is for Yasuke. He clears waves much, much faster than Demon Kite. So this is a slow start for Yasuke.
All right. In the bush, Arfi's gonna try to go for the cancel situation, and all in coming down. Arfi Blazing Duet, Tsunami Slam based on a Purify, and they get the kill on Doming. Onto Arfi, turtle up top though is the response from Aurora.
I don't know how worth it is to trade your gold laner for the turtle. I'm sure Aurora saw that a mile away.
Yeah, that's a big win for Alter Ego, plus big chance of getting this tower on bot as Alter Ego blocks off Light and UA to try to get down to save it.
Trades all over, and so far, I think Alter Ego have won the past couple. That puts Aurora Gaming in a weird position. The one lane that they for sure won, that gold lane, they just lost.
Yeah, but the thing is Aurora Gaming's okay with a 500 gold deficit, right? They're okay with a 1,000 gold deficit. The whole point of this strategy here is to buy time till around 9-10 minutes, wait till a couple lords where they can beat you out in macro and in big grouped up team fights.
What you're saying is slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Exactly.
So getting there is an inevitability. It's up to Alter Ego to force Aurora to stumble, and that's why Aurora's backing off.
Nami's on the glorious pathway again. UA able to go for the Crimson Beacon, flicker out from Hijime, but it gets picked up and thrown back to the fray as Light goes in with Edward. But Alec is able to sustain. Arfi
into the backside with a Blazing Duet!
It's big bonked on him. Now the fracture coming in from Yazuki to take Dominkite down as Nino continues to jump back and forth. Inferno Pursuit, but now it's UA to lock him down. He goes for one last one, but Edward cuts him down.
Ay caramba, El Padre falls! And Yasuke instead goes for the purple. Demon Kite reciprocates.
Trade for trade, purple for purple, but for the first time, Aurora Gaming gets a huge win on that team fight. They turn it into a tower as well.
AE seems to have met their match. An unspeakable amount of aggression, unparalleled target acquisition, met with an Ube lineup that breaks through your box. This is the unboxing strat that Wolf often talks about. Aurora Gaming, the way their lineup works is it's just ungodly amounts of crowd control that the back line just can't even come in. Hijume just popped like that.
Big Sky Piercer pickup there, and every time Light sees the feathered airstrike, he just starts running at him.
That's a straight line.
Straight line.
All right, so from here, taking a look at these gold laners once again, still at about a standstill. 2 items for 2 items. I think the question is, you know, normally the Claude has been so much better in terms of things, but Domeng on the Harith, he's his own breed at this point.
Yep, and that's the thing. When it comes to Arfi, he's good on the marksman, but he's not great. He's great on the Freyas, on the fighters as well. And you can clearly see Arfi, he got canceled in that fight. He went in way too early, and now Aurora's holding the turret, the Lord.
Dance has begun. Alter Ego making their move. The conceal from Alec.
You know, walking up at Edward, doing the same thing now with the help of Glorious Pathways. The Tsunami Slam is able to lock Edward down, but now look at the damage on Hijume. It's Edward in the back with Light.
And now Yasuke goes down as well. Alec all on his own.
You know, jumping to the back line now, trying to go for the Inferno Pursuit, but again, it's going to be Domeng, Kai, and Yue going for the damage. Domeng doing enough to take Nito down with the help of Yue.
Alter Ego struggle in these situations where they're not the aggressors, they're not the predators, they're not in control. Aurora Gaming on the flick of a dime go for the heart of their lineup, and that's what led to this massive win.
Alter Ego already down to inhibitors on the mid side. Aurora Gaming just punching a straight line with the Lord coming soon.
It's been a while since we've seen a carry Lapu-Lapu, but that is what Edward is right now.
Thanks.
Mr. Consistent, consistently finding Hijume, compromising Arfi. The one combo you have, Tsunami Slam it to either of these carries should do it. That's what's making Yasuke's job so hard is, how do I clean up? What do I clean up?
I think the big thing for Alter Ego in past games is they're able to last it up. Wait a second.
There we go. That's a big charge from the Lord at the mid lane. They crack it open with no response from Alter Ego. Arfi taking a big portion of that damage. Dark Wave landing on 3, but there's no damage currently. And Aurora have had enough. They crack open the base turret, and now it's back to the systematic Aurora.
They smelled something was fishy there. No vision on Yasuke. Where is he hiding out? They decide, all right, we got what we came for. That's a huge win already this early. Let's back off.
This is a moment wherein our good friend Joseph would say they got their head on a swivel. They don't need to see Yasuke, but the fact that they don't see him
means they see him.
Should be a signal, yeah, that
they know where he at.
Around. They
not at the base.
They sniffed him, and now Yasuke commits Grand Theft Purple, guilty of 1 charge. Hijume forced to use the feathered airstrike just to clear mid. As
Light.
Aurora just flush out the jungle. All right, spots him, drops that glorious pathway. Hijume just wings by wings out.
At this point, it's a mind game from Light, dude.
And at this point, they're farming each other's purples. I think that's like the 3rd one to just go to opposite sides.
Cross jungling.
Cross jungling, exactly.
Light here gets that stun on Alec. Even Alec isn't having the greatest time. A majority of the targets that he can hit will either purify or would love to be in the center of Alter Ego's lineup.
All right, so taking a look at these items one more time. Yasuke's been farming his mind off, essentially. He's still ahead of Demon Kite, even with the gold deficit. His goal has been get your items up.
But him being ahead by 100 isn't where he wants to be. Again, tank items, ladies and gentlemen, are significantly cheaper than damage items. So he wants to be like 1,000, 1,500 up. Because look, Demon Kite's Fredrin already has Athena Shield, Anti-Cuirass, Brute Force Breastplate. This is all he needs.
I would even go further, Leo. I feel like a 1,000 gold lead won't even cut it against a Fredrin on a Nolan. You need to be ahead by at least 2,000.
A full item.
A full item. And that's usually how it is when we see the Yisun Shin against a Fredrin, Nolan against a Fredrin, the splash clearers.
And that's what Aurora Gaming is doing so well here in game number 1. Not only are they winning head-on initiations, but they're able to find resources to take away from Yasuke. Light counter the initiate.
Yep. Now it's going to be the disengage from Nino. He goes for the Dark Wave, landing it onto, but now Edward forcing to fight. That's good. Tsunami Slam to cancel out the last portion of the Raging Slash. Big pong from Demon Kite, and Edward cuts him down again. He's on a killing spree.
Yasuke still in the jungle, gonna try to lock on.
And in, he got taunted by the Demon, and Domeng takes him down.
Yue and Domeng Kite are good targets, but not when there's 2 chunky boys next to them. Make it 3, a half man, half horse.
And that's the way that Aurora Gaming is approaching every single one of these fights. Everyone just huddles around Demon Kite and Light. because if anyone tries to catch Doming and if anyone tries to catch Yue, the taunt comes in. The little bonk from Hylos comes in.
We've come full circle, ladies and gentlemen. The last time Edward was on this stage, in this arena, not a single game he won. And he's just moments away from correcting that historically.
4-1-6. Man is performed. Oh, wait a second. This is a classic alter ego move. Whenever the enemy gets a lord, they go to look for the pickup, but can they take Edward down? Tsunami Slam coming down with the burst damage of Ijume, and Edward will have the immortality, actually. I think that's enough to get him out, and Edward does survive, and now he goes back in with a helmet Demon Kite. Meanwhile, light of the back line with Yue, jumping in as Doming goes for the base. What is him on force already? Yasuke getting rid of Yue, but Doming Kite's gonna be all over the place. Yue comes in from RP!
Nino also trying to block it off as Yasuke works on the Lord.
Nino's all alone, now against 4. He's jumping ready for the pursuit. He's so tanky, but again, he's constantly jumping in as RP does a lot of damage. Dark Wave coming in from Nino, but Doming takes him down.
The minions are cleared, but one more wave against the base.
They're gonna go straight for it. No nonsense. Aurora take game 1.
Surgical and clean. Aurora knows which fights to take, and Alter Ego have met their match. Game 1 goes to the Northern Lights.
Hopefully at this point some lessons were learned from both sides, but mostly from Alter Ego. If they're gonna ban the Freya, you might just have to start banning the Fredrin. You might have to respect the other team as well.
And you gotta feel for
Controlling when you do need it, you can go for more damage. What do you think about the side lane matchups here, Wolf?
Pretty even, but nah, I think it's Aurora-sided. Yeah, I would go for Aurora, actually. After a few seconds of thinking, yeah, this is Aurora.
I think it really depends on who's going to get that first blood. If Nino wins out his lane, I think this is going to be a very interesting mid-game.
I mean, like, again, this is all about momentum. Whoever has, I would say, the good 5 minutes of the game can really start to control the tempo. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the drafts has been done. We're jumping into Broken Walls for game number 2 of this grand finals. Now we're going to give it back to Leo, Trex, and Mirko.
Select adjustments coming in from these two teams going into game number 2. Will Alter Ego's changes spell a different result, or will Aurora continue to push forth?
I like it at this point. I mean, here's my big problem coming from Aurora. Coming from Aurora for the Sora right now, I think, was the winning piece of this draft in my mind. I think it's something that it's gotten overlooked in the last game, and right now coming in, it's going to be something that can jump into the back line, can do damage to Arfi, can get onto Hijume, and can also be a nice, bulky frontliner for Aurora Gaming PH.
Is the best way to win a draft from the red side, using red 5 this well.
Yeah, it's really, really good by Aurora Gaming Philippines there, but I think for Alter Ego, they've built a very, very good core foundation for those neutral objective takes. The Yuzong with the Suyo, it seems to be the answer against the Leomord right now. SRG played it, got a really good game against Alter Ego.
It's one of the few key wins on the hero that has almost been forgotten since last year's World Championships. Also, the reason why this is such a comfortable Suyo game for Yasuke is there's only really one painful source of magic damage, and that's Yue. Yep. And this lineup, I'd say, is built to hunt down Yue. Nino on the Yuzhong, even Alec can, get pokey and kick him right out of the skies.
Yeah, but getting the Grok and then getting the Leomord is something that's going to be able to stop that. It's something that's going to be a big problem for Alter Ego. And last game, Yasuke also had a nice hunting hero, but he wasn't able to find the angles. So this time, a lot of it's going to come down to, can he finally get past Aurora Gaming to those heroes?
Turtle spawning in the lower quarter of the map. You'll see that the Claude will try to push fast, clear it, get double waves, and then join the fight.
After a long time of not seeing Suyo, well, hold on, Demon Kite gets completely zoned. This is a Turtle 1 take for free for Alter Ego, unless Edward gets kind of petrified. Now it's going to be Alec on the way to Dragon, but it's going to be Edward who's still able to go for the CC immune just a bit. Now take it very low, flickers out of safety as Hijume can't get quite close enough.
Frederick, you were saying?
I was saying, the Suyo, it's so rarely picked up that a lot of teams going up against it would just not be prepared for it. But it seems like for Aurora Gaming Philippines, they know how fast a Suyo can go, and that's why Yue, Edward, Doming, they're playing it so safe.
But can they stop it from its speed. We're already seeing a first turtle go into Alter Ego. This might not be a composition that Aurora Gaming wants to take the super slow route to. At some point, they do need to try to fight it out.
And I think that's dictated by their jungler. You kind of want to snowball, not as fast as you would like a true assassin, but with a Leomord, you kind of want to get the most out of that power spike you get when you have your War Axe and then your Brute Force. From there, you kind of feel unstoppable. I know I did this morning. They're trying to jump on Edward. I think Nino knew that Yue was hiding in there.
Something was fishy about that.
Again, you don't see it. That means you see it.
Taking a look at the items right now. Arfi looking for Hunter Strike or an impossible early Sky Piercer. He's going to go straight to Sky Piercer,
He's going to skip
it. He did that yesterday as well. He likes to go for that Sky Piercer on Big.
Great reaction from Hijume, but it's a bit late now. Has to burn the Flicker. So it's light with the Flicker and also Hijume.
Both teams really just testing the waters right now. No big full commit engages, but seeing what the other team is going to do.
His limit testing, and now Arfi, Hijo de Oro, finds that early Sky Piercer. Now it's up to Alter Ego to ride that wave.
No red tree, and Yuzuki didn't even get it there, the green camp. So this is info for Demon Kai to utilize.
So last time that we saw Arfi go for this early Sky Piercer, there was a quick gank up to the gold lane. I mean, either after this turtle or maybe even give up the turtle and go for it, but it's all about trying to get Arfi these stacks as soon as possible.
Time's a ticking. We'll see if that kind of rotation will be the play for Alter Ego. But what is clear is they want this second turtle. Massive presence from El Familia here. Aurora Gaming want to contest.
Edward jumping in. Hijume no Flicker. Going to be brought back into the better airstrike now. Hijume taking very low. Plays a duet from Domain.
And back at the Lord, Edward does find the kill, but Demon Kai finds Nino!
It's an all-out win for Aurora Gaming Philippines. Yue trying to go for a stun onto Arfi now. 3 for 0, and even a turtle taken by Aurora.
Say what you will about Aurora's draft, it being very ult dependent and timing reliant. They found the perfect timing. They used every single ult that mattered to take down 3 members of AE and the second turtle too. That's one of the major problems I have with the Suyo. When the hero was big, this was still one of the major problems. Is there's too many dudes in there. And look at this major cut.
Oh, Dragon, good sidestep by Demon, kind of ganking the bottom lane. Nino gonna be dove on now as they turret jungle, and Edward takes to the skies to pick up a killing spree.
Aurora Gaming giving Alter Ego the Alter Ego treatment right now.
Right, caught on the way to Dragon now. They're gonna give over a stack to Arfi. So they get something on the map, but Aurora get more value.
It's a good trade for the Northern Lights. An XP laner and a turret for a lone roamer. It's very rare that El Padre Nino gets told what to do. That's just not how it works. Even when they're losing, he's usually the one who wins the lane, who tries to gain back parts of the map. But here, that's a non-starter. Aurora Gaming are dictating the pace, and how unfortunate is it that it's in that same side of the map that the final turtle will spawn.
Another big problem, Yasuke already taking this death, right? And even when Suyo was meta, it wasn't a hero that you wanted to die this early on. It wasn't a hero that you wanted to lose turtles on. And now that that's happened in the current meta, I'm wondering how far back is Yasuke as of now?
We'll see in the items. We'll check in just a bit. The final turtle will be spawning about 50 seconds. Big fight starts!
All in, you blink and you miss it. Arfi disintegrated. Now they're just trying to go over to the fence. Petrify onto Wars. Domain, Nino going at it over. Gets the knockup as well. Nino in the back now doing more damage as Demon Cat goes in with a steed and runs through Nino.
2 members down on the side of Alter Ego Esports. A huge gank from Aurora Gaming, sending Arfi back to the base.
El Familia is getting crumbs, alms. Yasuke is starving. All that upstairs for a turtle. The math doesn't check out. Edward spots Hijume here, goes into thunder form.
Goes in on the Hijume, forcing a flicker. Edward with a flicker himself. Now Arfi trying to go for the damage, but it's Yue with the shot. Arfi getting barriered away now. Low gets smacked by Light.
There is no escape right now from Aurora Gaming Philippines. Alec does jump in though.
What a peel there, tectonic charge, and the blazing duet from Domeng! Nino taking very low, so able to sustain for some bit. Domeng goes back in, Nino still there, it's gonna be Alan with Kundo and Yasuke now, going out of a Demon Cat as his horse.
Alec just trying to get away, but Demon Kai doesn't want to let it happen. Yasuke look for the re-engage.
Weller canceled, now the blade surge backward, feather airstrike coming down, and they zone Alter Ego from the purple buff.
let me commend a play that happened off screen that made the tail end of that sequence immaculate for Aurora Gaming PH. Demon Kite used the Phantom Steed just to get there.
Yep.
So again, the map awareness and communications on Aurora Gaming side is on another level. Yesterday, last night, back-to-back, two teams that are so good at fighting, so good at macro. SRG and Liquid, they did not play this way.
Nope, they did not. And the mechanical awareness on top of that, Leo. Light canceled out the dive from Nino, which would have been a sure kill.
You know, at this point, we just saw the gold spread. Overall, the 2,000 gold lead is pretty divided between 5 members of Aurora Gaming. Alter Ego still not completely out of this, but if it continues on this track, it's going to be tough for them.
Whoa! Hijume back feather airstrike, so much thrown at Hijume, and he can't handle it. Neither can Nino. He has to use the Black Dragon form defensively.
This was the MO for SRG last night. That one game they won, and that game 4, where it seemed like they were going to equalize, they attacked the heart of Alter Ego's lineup. They attacked Hijume, denied him the game, denied him from playing. But here, it's all the more evident. The Zushin's short to mid-range utility isn't accessible at this time. Lord for free going over to Aurora.
You know, looking at the back at the draft. Uh-oh, that was okay.
No blade surge.
Oh!
Jumps in and kills him!
Edward on a tanky Sora, still packing such a huge punch. I think he could 1v1 just about anybody on Alter Ego Esports right now.
Mirko, Trex, I've never seen Edward this driven. He plays the same game as he did with the Lapu Lapu, 6-1 and 4.
Oh, wait.
He found the angle.
This is nasty.
Mirko, you know how
The tech charge out Edward with a pullback on RP, and he gets the killing spree, but Edward gets shut down. You were able to stun over on Hijume.
2 members for the price of Edward, plus huge amounts of space right before the Lord meets the base.
No matter what team Light plays for, RSG, TNC, Warcaster Force, Bigitron,
XBT.
and now Aurora, he's the same high IQ player, finds that massive tech charge. Holy Shield up top pop. Alter Ego looking to protect the real estate. Bottom lane is gonna pop as well. 5K up Aurora Gaming.
You know what I was saying was, I feel like that first phase of drafting, the Jushin was not worth giving over the Grok and the Leomord. I think you take the Grok, you take the Leomord, you give over the Jushin and the other one, and you still get the Barza. Anything, I think Alter Ego, not just in the gameplay, but also the draft, they are getting outmaneuvered right now, and there needs to be an answer soon.
Man, another airstrike over on RP, doesn't have flicker. And now it's gonna be the barrier coming down again. It's Edward. Go into the skies, trying to go for a slam. Yazuki in the bottom lane. Just really trying to go for a trade, but the waves aren't crashing in just yet.
Yazuki looking for some bottom lane play. Anything, and this is what Yazuki always does well. Even when they're losing, he looks for playing the map. He steals away buffs, he finds towers. He's able to play the map a bit, and it's gonna staunch the bleeding slightly, right? It's a small band-aid on a big flesh wound.
And that flesh wound is ringing to the tune of 5,000 gold up. Half a minute till the Lord spawns, upper quarter. Alter Ego Esports can only pray and hope to get lucky to contest, because the map doesn't belong to them at all. Demon Kite can willy-nilly rough shot, just hit the Phantom Steed, and what, 10 seconds later, be the same kind of threat. Alter Ego Esports, I'll say now, one of their possible win conditions, their outs here, is to get a pick off on Yue. That's a start.
Yeah, Alex got to make a big play, some sort of big kick, but the thing is, his Light is outmaneuvering him time and time again. Nino can't even go in with a big Black Dragon and look for these big petrifies, because Domain just shreds him down.
Oh, Alec.
Down a bad spot.
Way too aggressive. Edward didn't want to go for the flicker just yet, for the airstrike coming down over on Alec as Yasuke gets pulled back, but is able to blade surge out of there. And now it's Aurora knocking on Alter Ego's base.
Lord's gonna spawn in about 20 seconds. Hijume still unable to find his footing. He's miserable in a situation like this. He can't clear waves as effectively as Yue, and he's on the back foot. How does this national champion throw back to his days in Bali, 2022, the prime of his career? How do they close this 7,000 gold gap? Not inside the base, I'll tell you now. It's got to come from somewhere else.
Already a winner crown for Doming Kite at this point, which means he can be even more aggressive on this big advance. Demon Kite now starting off for the rose gold, making him be able to be even more aggressive. They are preparing for this attack like they're gonna try to end it here.
That is the Lord up top, gonna crash into that turret, say goodbye. Bottom lane and mid seems to be the point of contention. The defense, feathered airstrike by Yue. Not much of a response!
They force the Crimson Beacon out from Hijime. Light just fainted, he went, huh! And Hijime reacted, he flinched. 2 base turrets on the sides. That is the worst combo you could find. And again, it's what LaFell said. Farok, Roxa, that combo, brother, is too much.
I'm partial to Farok. And there's the Farsa starting it up. Phantom Steed from Demon Kite. Turn in mid, about to go down.
Edward, oh my god, Light jumps in again! Tech charge! Now Hijime taking low, they're still able to go for it. Nino with the Furious down on the pressure fight, but he won't be able to lock them down for long. A Cannon in the mid lane as Edward dives in with a bit of crown. Yasuke clears out the Cannon, but they have another wave.
RV with a couple of free shots and down. Not yet, Edward able to just get away again.
He's taken down! Hijime able to get a shutdown. Demon Count on the horse again. Jumps on Yasuke for bang! Hijime gets away with the Crimson Beacon. Doming's on the base. They can't just end it right here as Nino jumps in, but Yue!
RV keeps on kiting back and forth. He's able to push him away with a couple more shots.
El Familia stands, still breathing. A 10th left on the base, refusing to go down.
Edward got some kind of plot armor, brother. After losing M4, now in the same arena, something's clicking.
At this point, I mean, I couldn't even see his health bar at that point.
Yeah.
And the Shaw residue was on him. There was no reason for him to be able to walk out of that alive right now. He's got the Jakarta energy right now. It's in favor.
You saw his soul almost leave his body, but his body pulled it right back. He's like, no, I ain't dying here. Not today.
He was burning. There was a little bit of a sting there from Hijime, but he refused to go down. The map is going to correct itself given the moment of melancholy for Alter Ego. They get to get out of their base for the first time in a while. They get to push out, but with all of their base turrets taken out, where do they find a play? I'll tell you now, it's got to come from Nino somewhere, somehow. He's the only real easy way in.
They got to go back to back. It can't just be Nino, because Nino, he can bait out the Purify, but then what, right? You need someone else to follow up on the Purify that's used.
I hate this. This is rough. Right now,
Pops in the Crimson Beacon, it's now or never now. Light jumps in the backline, won't be able to find anything now. Azada goes for the Raiders Dragon, he says Suki is able to go for the Blazers, but now Edward!
RP taken out along with Yasuke. Wait, yes.
He gets stomped to the ground, curb stomp, that's Yue. In a 1v1 against Nino, as Doming goes for the BMI, and Doming! Guns Hijime down! Now it's the base next to the chopping block, and Aurora go 2-0 in the grand finals.
Blinded by the Northern Lights' surgical precision and the seemingly plot armor that keeps their players alive. Alter Ego's signature aggression quelled once more.
I think Alter Ego's draft is much better, has a better chance this game compared to game number 1.
What about you? What do you think about this one, Gideon?
I think it's going to be a little bit harder. I think that for AE at the very least, they have a couple more options to play around, but so far, based on what we've seen in Aurora, as long as they don't mess up too hard in the early game, their recovery is so good coming into mid, and especially when we come down to late. So many of their composition styles is basically, hey, Blaze 5, Death Ball, peel, peel, peel.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Alter Ego has to win this one, because if not, Aurora will get match point. And we all know how high that pressure is going up against opponents as strong as Aurora when they have match point. So now we're going to throw it over to the casters, Leo, Trex, as well as Mirko. It's your time to shine.
Till the enemy reaches the battlefield.
Gideon Q pointed out a very pertinent trait that this lineup from Aurora could show up here in game number 3. The Death Ball. we might be throwing back to another Filipino staple strat that won them 2022's MSC in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, Alter Ego is still yet to score a single point in this grand finals matchup.
It's a comfortable formation for Aurora, but I have to say as well for Alter Ego, they finally kind of go back to an identity that they are well with. Fighters on the off lanes, a Leo Mord. They get Alec on something that can make plays, and it's all going to work around this RWM if they can make the catches. If there's a game that I felt like, okay, they have a good chance of winning, I do like Alter Ego's draft here.
So is it safe to say if they don't win this one, we're seeing a 4-0?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to speak in absolutes, but the fact that Arfi is on a fighter and all throughout the series, Game 1 and Game 2, if you've watched it, you'll know that they forced the same kind of violence onto Aurora Gaming, and the Northern Lights just keep saying no, then that might be it. Looking at the lane-to-lane matchup, Nino here, spots Light. Up top, it's the CC versus the Granger. I'd say this is as close to a fighter to marksman as it is to a marksman kind of matchup you could get.
Yeah, I do think Alter Ego in that gold lane, we may see some more rotation, a little bit of action in the mid, nothing crazy, but we might see quicker rotations at least coming from Arfi, which is going to be important, especially when it comes down to first, second turtle. We know how Arfi loves going against these marksmen with a fighter in his hands.
Yeah, he knows the matchup really, really well, so you can already see him winning it out, but for Doming, it's fine too. I think Arfi right now, it's interesting that he's actually sending the shove the waves. Like this wave before Turtle makes sense, but the other waves earlier, right? Like, he should be shoving now. He shouldn't be trading. And earlier, he should be trading, freezing the waves.
And then he can just run down, forcing a flicker out of Hijuma here.
Uh-oh, no flickers. Gonna be all in on him. The taunt as well. Light able to get the first blood. Yasuke very low because of the Edward earlier. That's Yasuke trying to get in. Demon Kai walks up. It's a late, or it's an early retreat from Yasuke. And Demon Kai just snatches away the turtle from him.
Early retreat and an early death for Alter Ego Esports. Yasuke down. I'm having flashbacks from previous games.
Oh, Light! Able to get away to Dragon Energy Kundo now, all in on him. But Light took a bit too many shots. Still gonna go down as well though, so it's a 1-for-1 in the bottom lane.
The damage on that slam, again amplified by the health you have as a fighter in the EXP lane. You have a respectable amount. 1,000 up for Aurora Gaming now.
At least Nino finds something there, but it's not big. You find Roamer, he's gonna be right back on the map. And look, you give gold plating, you give lane presence over to Aurora Gaming, over to Edward at that, who has been such a star in this series.
They're gonna all in onto Demon Kite, and he goes straight for the friction. That RWM was actually misplaced. Light goes in, a big pump from Demon Kite! And now it's Yua! Knocking two members up, Hijime, no flicker. 0-2-0, it's a double kill for Demon Kite.
Alter Ego in shambles, and we're only 3.5 minutes in. Yasuke 0-2-0, Hijime 0-2-0. The stat board is going downhill for Alter Ego.
I don't even need to look for the ball. There's just a lot of death coming around for Alter Ego, and Aurora Gaming PH are serving it up. Half a minute till the turtle spawns, same spot. I think we're done with the gold lane advantage. Alter Ego have to figure out where else can we win, because Arfi bullying Doming Kite is beyond the fact. There's not much they're getting from there.
Demon Kite's the one with 3 kills under his belt. We said it a little bit earlier. Aurora Gaming feeling like they got a little bit of a stampede going. Taking some notes from their brethren, and they really are.
You can say that again, because cover these names, cover the team, and this could be a liquid draft.
Yep.
So what do we do from here for Alter Ego Esports? They've been behind, a nice flicker forced out from Hijime.
Huge.
Aurora Gaming at this point, I mean, Alter Ego, yes, they've fought from behind like this, but normally at least their mid is doing okay. Normally Hijime is doing okay. Normally Yasuke is doing okay. At this, it's only Arfi without a death.
Turtle here, started up by Aurora Gaming. No contest from Alter Ego, with no eminent play either. It seems like Alter Ego have just decided to stay behind their own comfort zones and farm up. Well, where is the farm going to, though? There's really not much scaling.
Exactly. I mean, the CC saying the scaling tech charge coming down, but great reaction now. Light definitely going to be looking for the re-engage now, as that's going to be Alec isolated, taken out by Doming. Light! Kundo on the way to Dragon, bring Hijime back, and Doming with a double. Now with a big bonk, Yue takes it away.
Aurora Gaming is hunting right now.
Oh! You know next.
No.
Oh! Domain with the flicker out from the bravest fighter! And the recall on Nino's corpse!
Not against 4. Not against 4, El Padre. Ay, ay, ay.
Alter Ego is coming into these fights thinking they're still in the lower bracket, thinking they can still muscle around their opponents. But Aurora Gaming was ready for this. They've been watching, they've been waiting for this.
I've been saying this since yesterday, and it was good when Alter Ego only knew one speed, but now they're on the back foot. They're cornering Edward.
No way he gets away from this, right? That's an all-in, and RP picks up a kill, so finally Alter Ego, they get a kill after what, 3 minutes?
I mean, Light's playing out of his mind right now as well. He always shows up in the nick of time, and he didn't even use his Way of the Dragon on Alec earlier. He gets a kill on Alec, then flicks in and finds Hijume. I mean, Aurora Gaming, it's tough right now for Alter Ego.
Tough is an understatement,
Yeah.
especially when you're down 2 games with nothing when it comes to gameplay or even a comeback. All that Alter Ego have scored all series long are little kills, small trades. Some of them they won in the first 2 games, but here, again, all they got was a kill on Edward down bottom and a Light.
Uh-oh.
Trying to get Arfi here, he's gone!
Final slash, Edward takes him down. RWM with no one to follow it up. Now Light is just gonna go in. Oh, try to bait out the flicker from Hijume, but they've already gotten the turtle on top of that.
Here's the kicker for Aurora Gaming as well, is they still have Doming Kite with a Sky Piercer at 3-0-1. Who, even if Alter Ego score,
He gets a steal, but he gets kicked back into Dominkai. Now final slash from Edward! Hijume low, it's an all into the backline as Nino gets caught up into it all, tries to deal some damage again, a big bong that doesn't land, but Demon Kai still gets to kill. Doming will try his best to get another.
one by one they all fall under the boot of Demon Kite right now. Bonk after bonk. He's a tanky boy, but he's still 4-0-5.
It's been a hot minute since Demon Kite tasted victory. He's gone around the world, played in Malaysia, came back to the Philippines, and now here in Jakarta. Just mere moments away from match point. Again, 2-0, and no clear signs of life from Alter Ego. A quick look once again at that sequence. An Aurora Alpha strike, no signs of doubt. Even underneath that tier 2 in mid, they were just counting ults, counting battle spells. Halfway through that fight, there was nothing left for Alter Ego.
And Edward is searching for an FMVP at this point. The guy has made play after play from game 1 to game 2 to game 3. And look at range, Doming hurts so much.
And he's finding his own teammate for it, because Light is doing pretty good himself.
Taking a look at the items. Like I said, we just got a Malefic Gun in for Doming Kite. A 1.4K gold. I mean, everyone's got 1,000 plus gold lead at this time. There's really not much to talk about. Aurora Gaming has multiple, I mean, everyone's an item up at this point.
And who I feel it stings the most for is Yasuke.
Yes.
This is his signature pick. He almost single-handedly made Leomord a threat in the knockout stage. I was laughing at Leomord in the Swiss, but looking at the stats, oh, Yasuke, how has he proven me wrong? But now against a Fredrin, who he's down almost 2,000 gold off of, can't even dive in when he hits that Phantom Steed. He's at about the same stat base as the Fredrin, and that's a no-go. You're not gonna get anywhere with that.
So here's the thing, right? Because Alter Ego Esports, we thought the meta was getting set down in the lower bracket. We thought what we were watching was the answer to everything. Aurora Gaming isn't even changing much of their gameplay strategy, changing much of their picks. They are the meta at this point. Whatever they want, their composition is winning out.
And we seem to be circling back in M3, Singapore. The world saw how you could play MLBB in a different way. The Ubistrat was debuted by Blacklist International. Now Aurora Gaming are throwing back to that. A free lord coming from them, spawning in about 25 seconds.
And who better to lead that Ube strat than Edward and your EXP laner, someone who was part of the creation, who was there for that moment. Alter Ego Esports. We are watching Arfi try to make it to the top, once again putting band-aids on flesh wounds.
Yeah, he's gonna go for the clear now. But also Yue, The guy there before the combo, before the trio completely left. He was part of that roster too, and now, Edward just flickers out once! Nino still goes for the Brave Spider. The 1v1 will not happen. Edward's gonna try to cancel out the recalls. RP just gonna go for the turret up top, and they're still cutting the waves as the base. He's gonna be targeted out by Aurora.
But there's a Lord at your base right now. And Alec is all alone. They're trying to get back.
RP is already there. Yasuke doesn't have the steed. Lord already at the base right now. As Alex to be caught on the Juju. No! Dominkai gunning them down! And it's Yue to throw him back! The base wide open! Aurora Gaming Philippines are a game away from cementing themselves in history!
Your jaw dropped. I saw that. In awe and in silence, the seemingly unstoppable alter ego cannot score against Aurora. And Aurora have barely lifted a finger. They played the same game 3 games into this series. How?
We saw 3.
You need some mystic help to make sure that they're
You need a lot of luck.
You need a lot of luck. They need
A
to be
lot
hokey.
of luck. You need to make sure that for whatever reason the Zetyan ultimate into the Raging Sandstorm will whiff. Which I feel like it's not gonna happen.
It's so difficult. If they have 5 golden cats in their room, they are going to need 15 to compensate.
I mean, here's the thing again, alter ego, they want to go out with a bang. They want to get their very best heroes that they enjoy playing. Ladies and gentlemen, match point for Aurora Philippines. This win will make them the champions of the M7 World Championship. And with that, we're throwing it over into the Land of Dawn with Mirko,
5
Trex,
seconds
and
till the
Leo.
enemy reaches the battlefield.
1 game away
Smash them.
from denying all the allegations. 1 game away from silencing all the haters.
Welcome
1 game away
to Mobile Legends.
from scoring and putting a mark on this series. El Familia have all of their fans, the Alter Champs, shouting, hoping that hockey kicks in now.
Hope is a fickle thing, though. Alter Ego Esports need to be able to pull this off with their own determination and skill at this point. And Aurora Gaming has just been so strong, have just been so clean from draft to execution.
It's now or never. They've been lucky all throughout, has been the joke, but now they actually need a bit more luck. But they also need to fix everything. Have they fixed? Have they done enough in the draft? Because Wolf said it's over.
Here's what's scary. For the first time in this 4-game series so far, Aurora Gaming actually have a favorable draft index. The numbers favor even them. Even the game's algorithm can tell that their draft performs much better.
And it's such a safe choice, or I mean, it could be safe, could be aggressive, but knowing how they've been playing on the back foot, it really looks like this pull yourself together is more defensive. You can already see it here, Ijume having to use it right as I say it.
And this is so un-alter ego. They're not used to playing this way.
I mean, to Hijume's defense, though, he loves that pull itself together. I mean, he uses it on a lot of heroes, and we've seen him use it on this Jushin throughout this series so far. Up in the top side, Arfi, is he finally going to have a time to shine on this Granger? I wonder if he's going to go for an early Sky Piercer once again, or just take the normal build route.
In addition to possibly Yasuke and Hijume in mid and in the jungle, Aurora Gaming PH might have countered and cornered Arfi into playing marksman, which, again, he's okay with, he's good at, but against Dominkai, he struggles with.
Yep. You know, jumping on to Edward into the pursuit constantly now, onto him. River Spider already used up by Edward. Like to be picked up now by Alec and by Hijume, but it's going to be the flicker around as Doming rotates to the gold lane. It's Nino caught in the midst of it all still through the Phoenix, and Edward goes through it with Yue. Dominkai gets rid of Nino, and it's Aurora with 2 kills and the neutral objective.
First turtle once again for the side of Aurora Gaming PH. 1,000 gold lead once again.
Wolf was chewing our ears off for this fact. Gideon was tag teaming the fact that if you do not get the first turtle, Aurora Gaming have basically won half the match. So, how does Alter Ego Esports fix this? Number one, protect Yasuke at all costs. But to do that, you have to kind of put Alec on the back burner. You have to put Hijime in a weird position, which it's clear that maybe Hijime isn't playing as aggressive as he used to.
It's almost, I mean, it's too late to protect Yasuke at all costs. He's already 0-1-0. He's already falling behind. He's 2 levels behind Demon Kite at this point. In my mind, Alter Ego, yeah, protect everyone. You need to just stop. You gotta slow it down. Maybe even give up the second turtle. Big Tsunami Slam.
Oh, Light gets away with the Raging Sandstorm, and now Demon Kite goes through, brings Alec back. It's gonna be on to Light. He goes. Last few shots, almost taking him down. Light caught in the bad spot, but he can just heal back up. And Aurora don't lose anything.
Hijime gets a little bit of nice chunk damage, but once again, it's still not enough. Alter Ego think they can take these fights when it's very clear to all of us that they can't.
When Nino starts joining these big 5v5s, things might change. I'm looking at how his Infernal Pursuit might kind of compromise Light, even Dominkite, but if you remember that first turtle, Dominkite came in late. Dominkite made himself scarce up until the very last moment where Alec almost died. So it seems like even on a timing basis, even when it comes to execution, Aurora may have found the checkmate.
You know, and to that point, Nino, we saw him on the Phobius earlier this series, and he did do amazing with those pursuits. We also heard the panel talking about how laning phase isn't as important. How well can you be an impact in these big fights? So it could almost be worth Nino leaving lane here and there to look for the plays and the Purify.
Near the Phoenix man, you can already see the tilt, the desperation. It's now Yasuke jumping with a Shocker Light! Sucks him out the way! Survives it all! A double kill now, Hijime is able to get RPA kill, but it's Yue who rotates.
Alter Ego are desperate at this point. Grasping at straws, grasping at Ghost, as Aurora Gaming continues to elude them.
The last shot of the turret gets him down. RP gets one more.
Dirty trades up top, and it's at this point where I can tell Alter Ego doesn't even care what the numbers look like as long as we get kills. That whole sequence up top with the turtle far removed down bottom, taken by Demon Guy with no contest. The former Onyx Prodigy roamer, Alec, formerly known as Owen, started it up, but I don't think he's ever faced a team as surgically precise as Aurora Gaming PH for his 2-year career. He's gone this far. He's played so many tournaments countless times throughout the Indonesian amateur scene all the way up to the world stage. I don't think he's ever faced a team like Aurora.
Raging Sandstorm and even a flicker out from Edward. But RP gets away with a flicker, but again, I think it's worth it to trade flicker for flicker if you're on a Lapu versus a Granger.
Very true. Luckily, RV did get 2 of those kills down there. The only 2 kills on the board did go into his hand. First item was the Hunter Strike. Second item was Sky Piercer. The one time that he trades it.
And unfortunately, the stacks didn't come after the Piercer. So now Aurora Gaming are still up on timing.
It's very unfortunate at this point. Luck is not on their side. The past 2 games, he's built Sky Piercer first, gotten no kills. This time he gets 2 kills and decides to build it second.
I'd hate to say it, but their luck may have run out. And when it comes to the World Championship, you can't rely on luck. In comes Alec, looking for an engagement. Even he doesn't know if it's worth it. Dominkite pushing clean, Nino pushing him back.
Went for the lane swap. Nino all the way up at top side. They want to fight for this third turtle.
The final turtle with Demon Guy holding on. Phantom Steed info. In he comes.
Dark Wave canceling it. Raging Sandstorm maker with Fury the Phoenix. Everything using the backline. RP does not have flicker to get torn through by Aurora.
And Nino's gonna drop next. Yasuke on the run.
That's what you call an Aurora avalanche. A force of nature plowing through El Familia. 4,000 gold up, 7.5 minutes in. Alter Ego can't catch a break. Yasuke, he's down 1,000 gold.
Alter Ego just walking into a brick wall, walking into the avalanche right now, thinking they can man it. Even at that last play, they go for the turtle. They feel like this is a do or die situation when maybe it really wasn't.
And now Alter Ego back again to look for those plays. The plays you see when they are behind. But up against Aurora, who are so consistent, so disciplined, they can't be baited into a fight. Heck, when they take a fight, it's always in favor of them. Now Nino, he can't even go for it. He lands the Dark Wave, but he knows better than to jump on Domeng.
Even with Yasuke in his wake, Yasuke is not in a fighting form because they can't see where the rest of Aurora are, and you know how it is. If you can't see your opponents, chances are they're just nearby.
Yasuke does get away there. You know, one of the big differences for Alter Ego this series as well, essentially this whole series, is not everyone can fight on their own. And in past games for Alter Ego, Arfi could handle his own. The rest of the team could handle their own.
Usually, with a high range hero like Granger and the Mount Shocker, Dangerous Grass is on your side.
Oh, light. Oh, he's trying to bait out the flicker. Phantom Steed now comes through. Domeng for the side, goes over to Zaman for Tsunami sign for the down, but it's only on towards that point for the Phoenix.
Everyone's able to get away there. Edward! Oh, still in the backside. Edward jumps in.
Doesn't get the stun, now gets stunned. Edward! What the hell? Jumps in under the turret and takes 2 down.
With a huge Hail Mary into the base. Edward was getting Arfi no matter what by the end of the day, and now they're gonna move on to the Lord.
Alter Ego Esports is in no shape to contest. They can barely get out of their own base. The only things Aurora Gaming did not get out of Edward's trade was Hijume's flicker and the lives of him and his jungler. A free Lord for Aurora. Where else do they go?
I mean, at this point, you just pray and hope. You sit back. Endless Battle finally comes in for Yasuke. The ability to dive from Aurora Gaming, the ability to literally go under these towers and secure kills. That's why I say I don't know, because the odds are out there. A possible Hail Mary conceal play.
This is a start, a conceal, but they don't have vision. They don't know where the rest of Aurora are. They're keeping themselves scarce to keep this huge lead.
Here's the question, what do they do even if they found someone up there? What was the play? You're 7,000 gold behind.
Can't kill anyone.
Obvious. You're not going to be able to take anyone out on the opposite team. Just wait in your base.
3 years ago in this very arena, it was Sanford making that kind of play under tier 1. Edward does it under base turret.
Aurora Gaming looking to break into the base. Holy Shield up top popped. Down goes the Lord. Alter Ego keep their inhibitors, but lose everything else.
Alter Ego wants to stand a chance here. They need to stay put, stay split up.
Radiant Sandstorm through the Phoenix. Arfi taken down by Demon Kite. Tsunami Slam desperate from Malek. Edward jumps back away with the Raven Spider, and now Hijume is shining the light on them.
Yasuke taking a lot of damage as well. It goes down.
Alec standing tall, gonna be taken very low. Domeng takes him down. Another mini wave coming in up top. Hijume is the only one left. He goes in against 4. And now it's Edward who walks up, throws the sword. Domeng gets a double. They've wiped Alter Ego out.
Nino coming up, Arfi as well.
Nino, can he do it? He goes for it again. They go for the clear. Domeng's on the base. Some Monforce coming in. And it is all over.
The age of dominance continues through the Northern Lights. Aurora Gaming Philippines are your M7 World Champions.
For years, the Northern Lights flickered. Beautiful, but never enough. Tonight, they don't fade. They burn. Tonight, everything changes. No more choking. No more almost. Aurora, at last, become eternal.
4 games is all it took. In this same exact stadium, history repeats itself. It's different faces in front of the Filipino flag. But Aurora Gaming still takes home the trophy. Aurora Gaming still does what everyone thought they couldn't. And look at the boys on stage right now. They're happy. They're ready to lift that trophy.
How many finals have they been in, Leo? How many times have they faltered at the last step?
Yue has been all around the world. Edward has been here to hold their ground. Light, the missing piece, comes home to a World Championship trophy. Demon Kite, a longtime rival of the GOAT, finally becomes a Triple Crown champion. And Domenkite went from just a good gold laner to the best damn gold laner in the world.
I believe it's been 4 grand finals for you where he faltered in the final step. 4 losses mean nothing if the 5th rewrites history.
Don't forget about Mr. Consistent Edward, the two-time champion, and it's been a long time coming. He's been in multiple M series, but has fallen short for so long since M3, and now at M7 gets it.
Let's throw it over to the stage to celebrate our champions.
They fell one step short, but they earned the world's respect tonight. Once again, thank you so much to Alter Ego Esports. And ladies and gentlemen, the champions of the world, the Northern Lights, Aurora Gaming Philippines!
From last year's setbacks, the Auroras return to the world stage with lights shining brighter than ever.
The world has seen you rise. Now let them see you claim what is yours.
Boys, Aurora Gaming Philippines, you may lift your trophy in a count of 3. Gather around the trophy. In 3, 2, 1.